What do you know? I bow down to no time frame for when the Hawk will begin a little bit of day drinking. So 2:30 Central Time. Let's have at it. But hey, guys, wanted to jump on and just kind of I wasn't going to be able to do things tonight, so I figured, well, what the hell? Let's kind of tackle some of this stuff and catch up with you guys here during the day for a little while. So I know it's not the ideal time to be doing these things, but wanted to kind of just like I said, jump in, say hi. It's been a little while. Been battling some I don't know, nasty viral stuff or whatever the world it's been, and we'll see how antibiotics and the high proof bourbon go today. But should be interesting. So if I pass out someone, anybody who's got my wife's number, give her a give her a quick call. So exactly, Marty, what the Hock. So we're gonna do a little impromptu live here, do some tasting notes, but more importantly, wanted to just say hi and see how everybody else has been doing. And you probably hear it in my voice. It's a little there's a perb. So a bunch of people in here don't have much going on during the day. So Eric says, "Nah, it's perfect. Don't want to work right now anyway." Cool. If I could be your break time, then that's it's pretty awesome. So, but yeah, it's been a little while, probably before Thanksgiving. Actually, maybe a week or two before Thanksgiving was the last time I did a live, and went on vacation, came back, did a bunch of other things, got sick again. I'll tell you that the middle part of November to now has been maybe the sickest I've ever been in the longest time I can ever remember. So anyway, we'll see if some antibiotics can take care of whatever in the hell this thing is. So took a pregnancy test and didn't look like that, came back positive. So that's a good thing. So um anyway, so we're gonna tackle a few things, but what's everybody else been up to? I'm gonna start with a little kind of first pour. I'm gonna do the Tanninger from Still Austin. Got into it the other day. Admittedly, I wasn't yep, a purple. We'll get to that here pretty soon. Exactly Corey Hill, the Coy Hill Rye. We'll be talking about that one as well. But wanted to kind of open up here with the Tanninger. I wasn't, to be honest. I don't know if anybody's had it, got their bottle. I know it's a very limited release, but it seems like there were a few or a fair amount of people that were getting them. I know a lot of it was distillery only. They did a raffle. I don't know if that's even been launched yet. I know I signed up to get a bottle, but they were nice enough to send a little sample, and you can see I've kind of gone through a little bit of that with some tasting notes and as much of that as I could. So we'll see. It's I was not sure, as I said early on, about it, and ultimately what it really needed was just a little bit of airtime. Kind of take your time. So there you go, Paul. Keep waiting. Hopefully it'll show up any day. But um at first that was the thing. I wasn't exactly sure. They called us their cigar blend. I know they use um what is it called? Cuvée, I believe, is basically watered down. It's barrel aged water. I think that's what it's called. Is it Cuvée? Am I saying the right word? What the hell am I thinking of right now? I think it's something like that. But anyway, they basically use this barrel aged water that they use to proof it down. So they have, I believe, a fairly low entry proof. I think it's either 110 or 115, and then they proof it down. I think it's 110. And this came in at like 107. Yeah, 107.5. So not a big water down factor. Travis, my man, what's up? Petito. Thank you, Paul. Petito. I don't know why I was thinking of like cooking or something. God only knows. But um, so anyway, they use that process to water it down. So you've got basically an enhanced or a full flavored water, if you can think of that, a barrel aged water that, as they kind of um do kind of like a slow watering down effect, basically, and allow time to kind of work on its side. So you're getting as much of a full flavored, proof down bourbon that you're going to get. So it's an interesting process. I know they use it more in the cognac and armagnac world than at least the bourbon side of things. I know there's some people. Nancy Fraley is the one that really is, I think, the one that's kind of really brought our attention to a lot of it, and what John has done and with his team at Still Austin. I mean, they do some absolutely amazing things. So, what's up, John? Good to see you, buddy. My buddy TR in here. We're working on another little something or other with King's family, and we'll let people know on Patreon with that soon. Yeah. Yeah, Marty, if you can remember who Nancy is, let everybody know who Nancy Fraley is. Um, so anyway, that's what I'm going to start with here. Just kind of a little, I don't know, just a little impromptu live today. I knew I wasn't going to be able to do things tonight, and I think Marty's actually going on the same time I normally do on Tuesday night. So tune in to Marty. Bunch of other things going on. I know Jason's got his stuff tomorrow night. So anyway, I wanted to get on here, do a few things, say hi to you guys, see what's new. Anybody get any new bottles, favorite bourbon of the year, rye of the year? Let me know in the comments what kind of where some of those things are landing for you guys this year. So if you happen to be drinking along with me, I guess kudos to you. If you're not, I completely understand that as well. So let's see, what do we got here from Paul? So oddly enough, I did catch on a video a while back. Proof down of blends with water stored. Oh, okay, that's kind of interesting. They don't. I'm surprised they don't use that in any of their marketing. I mean, they use everything else for marketing. Why not? Why not kind of hype that up? And really, in all honesty, that's a pretty big deal. I mean, that's to use that kind of enhanced water, to proof things down. You're just adding additional flavor, to that bourbon or whiskey or whatever it may be. So why more people don't do it? I'm sure from an expense standpoint, they don't want to just sit on barrels that they can either sell or do something else with, age more whiskey or whatever it may be, that they don't want to just utilize all of that for water. But especially some of the big boys, I'm sure seems like they would be able to do much more of that. And maybe they do. Maybe they just don't let on to any of that or talk much about it. But anyway, so let's kind of tackle some of the, I don't know if anybody is, let me ask you, this is always an interesting thing with like, you see everybody like at Still Austin waiting outside for a day or a day and a half for like the Tanager. Outside of that, how much anticipation or excitement is there for you or all of us, I guess, for a release like this? I know it's kind of on par with a lot of the allocated bourbons that we all kind of want to have and chase. But, is that still something, or is this, I know last year was the first release of that, but this year being the second, is this something that people or you guys are going to want to really, hunt down? I wasn't too sure at MSRP. I think at like 150, fine, but I'm not going to pay, I don't think, 2 or 3 times that on secondary for it. I think, to say it's worth it, I think after kind of sitting down with it, it felt like a really, really good whiskey. But man, at 450 to $600, secondary, maybe even more, do I want to necessarily pay that? So that's, I guess, you're a question for you guys is what is it hyped up enough? Is there enough, I guess, quality factors that make you want to kind of chase after this thing? So what's up, Tom? Make sure you check out the Bourbon Jerks on Thursday night. I know they're going to be doing a raffle for a charity, so make sure you tune in. Tom and his son will be doing some fun things, so hopefully you guys can check that stuff out. So, yeah, that was kind of the interesting thing, that they really identified this as a cigar blend when we all think so much of cigar blends as having these finishes, but really theirs was truly a cigar blend from the standpoint of trying to pair this just straight whiskey and blending from that standpoint with an actual cigar. So that was kind of refreshing, I guess, from that standpoint, that they weren't trying to, add Amburana and all these other fancy things. Even though like the Magnus cigar blend was fantastic, those had really nice finishing casks that they use. So All right, so Travis is excited about it. I think it's one of those things that does seem to be a bottle that a lot of people are going to chase here at the end of the year. There is something through if you go to Still Austin, I believe you can sign up. I don't know if that's done yet for when they end the entry, but you can go to I think the stillaustin.com or their Instagram page. I believe they have like a link where you can sign up for to win it. They'll ask you your state and address and all that good stuff, but you can do that. I was able to do it like last week, I believe, sometime. So I don't know when the final date for entry will be in there though. So, but yeah, I was when I sat down with this thing, um, in between being sick and all that other stuff, it really it really kind of jumped out of the glass once this thing had a chance to really open up. That's when this thing really began to shine. Early on, I was like, man, it's not coming across as a lot more special than some of the other things that they've done. Like, I mean, just on their own, their regular, whether single barrel or whatever, their cast strength bourbons, ryes are fantastic on their own. But man, like it was just you could see. I'm like, I've got to give this thing some time. You couldn't judge this, so I went through a little bit more of it from the sample than I really wanted to, but I think I had to for um I had to for this whiskey. You could just feel that this thing wanted to do something a little bit different. So there's the boss. Good to see you, Katie. Katie, thank you. Appreciate that. Hey now, there he is. What's up, DT? Good to see my buddy always. Yeah, get on a live together, Dan. I know you do your stuff on Monday nights and stuff, but um, what else we got here? Just seeing if I missed anything. So anyway, let's taste this thing again. Look, get warm. This will warm me up a little bit. 107.5, 107.5 proof. This will warm me up to our the Jack Daniels we're going to be diving into here shortly. Yeah, that richness really starts to kind of pour out as it opened up and got some time. There's a lot of this, man, this fruited honey, a little bit of pastry that this thing has. The oak is beautiful on it. It's rich, complex, dark. It's really everything I think that just about everybody would really want in a bourbon. So if you see me do that once in a while, it's because nobody wants to hear me cough in the microphone. That's for sure. So um, cheers, buddy. Look at JG. Can't keep this guy away. Doesn't even matter. Work time 2:30, 1:30, 2 in the morning. Doesn't matter. He's the one of the best stalkers that's out there. That's for sure. What's up, Jay? So anyway, I don't know. I thought it was really what did my notes? What did I let's see, what did I have from my notes and stuff the other day? Well, that wasn't it. That's not it either. There we go. Yeah, that was one of the things, and I was just thinking about that right now was the like the mouthfeel, how creamy this thing really was. That was one nice part that yes, some of you do have to work. That is true. Someone's got to pay the bills around that place, right? Yeah, that was one of the things that was kind of I think really early on for me was the mouthfeel, how oily, how mouth coating it all was, the viscosity of it, even at 107.5 proof, it was really showing up as a bigger, richer whiskey than that. So yeah, that cherry vanilla cream soda. There was a lot of this spice factor. There were a lot of really, beautiful notes that early on. I mean, I probably did the tasting notes over the course of I bet several hours of just from the first time I poured it to the time I kind of finished, let that thing open up. I bet it was probably a good 4 or 5 hours in total of just kind of taking your time, refilling a little bit and going back after it. So it was a fun process, but it was it was it was one of those things. Yes, I am sick again a little bit. it's not. I don't know what the hell this is. I'm taking some antibiotics. Like I said, if you see me go down, call Julie. Let her know that I'm out. So we'll see how the high proof whiskey mixes with. It's not even sick again. It's still sick. It's been the middle of November with all this. I think it's some. I don't whatever. I'm on antibiotics now, so we'll see what happens. But we're not gonna let that shit stop us anymore. That's for sure. Um, so let's see, where are we at? So anyway, the Tanager, I think if you can get this thing at retail or even let's say double at $300, I think it's totally worth. I think it's totally worth that. No, I had Jace. I had it before that. It was who knows. I felt better there than I did once I got back. So it started to kind of get better with all the humidity and the warmth, and then got back to 0 degrees and snow, and here we are again. So anyway, we'll hopefully the antibiotics knocks this stuff out. So it's only day 2 or day 3 of taking them, but we'll see. It is what it is. But anyway, so Tanager, I don't know. I think double. I mean, if anybody wants to pay 3 times, at secondary price, I guess that's up to you. It's a very, very good whiskey. I think it's probably gonna maybe factor into some people's whiskey of the year, but I don't have a bottle, so that's kind of one of the rules of thumb is that it's been, I wanna have a bottle of it in order to have like a whiskey of the year, whether it's a you know small bottle, whatever. I know like with some of the Bardstown stuff that they send those out in 375s, which is kind of cool. So I'll factor that part in. But a little sample bottle, I don't know. Would you? Here's a question for you guys. Would you, if this was a good enough whiskey and I wasn't being that it's close to the end of the year and I wasn't able to get one of these in terms of a full like 750, would you still include or factor a sample like this into a whiskey of the year? So just curious as to, your thoughts and all of that. So, um, man, I don't know. I have no idea what in the world it is that's going around. I kept thinking it was going to go away and it never did. I don't whooping cough. I don't know, man. That's the worst part of it. And in all honesty, like I think for me, by the time I get to the end of the night, like I'm completely like wiped out. It's what for whatever reason you can't stop coughing and all of that. I can't remember being I don't feel bad. I just there's just this I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It's just ongoing and I'm hoping to get all this crap cleared up and get back to whatever my normal is. So limited, so no for me. So all right, because it's limited and you only have a small sample, if it wasn't limited and you had a sample like this, then you would include it as a whiskey of the year contender. Just curious on all of that because I know sometimes with whiskeys of the year, people are like, well, if it's so good, why don't you have a bottle? And sometimes it just comes down to the inability to either get one or afford one or buy one or whatever the factors may be. Um, but who knows? Dane, I probably maybe that's what it is. Maybe I need to try a hot toddy or something like that. It does seem to solve a lot of problems. So no flu. It's not been any of that. Anyway, all right, let's stop talking about that. It's stupid being sick. It's ridiculous. But anyway, so all right. So like I said, let me know in the comments what you guys have as maybe um a whiskey of the year for you, and maybe one that you were, I guess, maybe not most disappointed in, but maybe one that didn't live up to your expectations. So I'll say one bottle for me that didn't really live up to the expectation. I think for me was the Michter's Barrel Proof bourbon this year, and man, it just I kept waiting for that thing to change or do something, and it just kind of fell flat. I mean, I had had so many good whiskeys, and a lot of us have throughout the year that that thing just, I mean, it was, I, I don't even remember what the proof was. I think it was like 107 or 110 or something like that. but it just was it just didn't do it for me. If I had one disappointing bottle of the year, it would probably be the 2025 Michter's like barrel proof bourbon. It just didn't do it for me. So garlic around. I have had Vicks. I did have some Vicks on me the other night, which made me feel really old considering my mom used to put that crap all over me. And we kind of went down that path again, not with my mom, of course, but I don't know. We'll see. It didn't do anything. I think whatever it is I need, it's more than anything I can rub on me or take or anything at this point. I think I need some antibiotics or something to kill this, and we're giving it we're giving it a try at this point. We'll see how that goes. So, um, so let's see. All right. No, Big Vic wasn't. So the 10-year rye is the same for me too. Yeah, I didn't have the rye, the 10-year rye. But yeah, that was definitely straight up old school. We went down that road and I don't know if it did much, but no, the only difference is that I actually have light because like right now at 5 o'clock at this point, it's completely dark and I'm having to use all kinds of other artificial lighting just to create anything. So why do I look better or something? I don't know, but do I look better? What do we got? Yeah, I wasn't off here. Yeah, I just for me, like I had a sample of the um Michter's 10-year rye. Thought it was good. Didn't have the Michter's 10-year bourbon, but the barrel proof bourbon. I don't remember if I had the barrel proof rye or not, just in the standard bottle. But anyway, the only one I can think of off the top of my head was the barrel proof bourbon. It just man, that was a disappointing bottle for me. So definitely wasn't any of the Big Vicks. Oh man, why does it feel like this could really go down a lot of slippery slopes with rubbing Big Vicks all over your entire body? Maybe that'll make you feel better or something. Feel like he'd need to be in here for that conversation for this video or for this conversation. So oh, I don't know why it's crispy. Maybe I haven't changed anything. Nothing's different. I don't know. Interesting. I don't know why it would be any better or different. I can only think of the natural light. I've got more natural light coming in from this side, which is always super helpful. So, but I don't have any of that right now, and that's one thing I wanna work on. So whether I do it here or if we end up moving or whatever it may be, um, I wanna be able to create something that just has better lighting. I know Jason and a lot of other people have really nice lighting, and that's one thing I've always kind of struggled with. So I feel like my camera's good. Maybe I would need to change some different settings or whatever it may be, but I feel like that's pretty good. So oh boy, comes in avocado. Jeez. I was waiting for all that stuff. So, all right. So for anybody who is a lot of you guys are part of the Mash and Journey Whiskey Club. We have coming up on Friday our release of both our jacks, the bourbon and the rye. Um, we had the Coy Hill rye this year, which is I'll tell you what, man, that was an easy decision. We had some good people with us on that pick, so a couple of them in here right now, but looking forward to these. So we got the bourbon, we got the rye. Honestly, these are two that I look forward to being able to do every year. I mean, if it's not some of the best value in whiskey nowadays, I don't know what. And just what it is that they continue to pump out at, let's just say, even I know it's even well below this, but at sub $100, these are whiskeys that easily could be priced, at or above that. And I think people would still feel good about what that whiskey is. I know people would probably complain a little bit about the lack of age, but to get these flavors and complexity out of, what these things are, I don't know. I mean, what are they? Maybe 6 years old, something 7, maybe. I don't even know. Maybe they're not even that old. I don't think ours were even that old. Does it say? I don't remember. What's it say in here? Well, anyway, it doesn't matter because, I know a lot of people still focus a lot on the age statement of things, but Jack is one of those things where honestly, I don't know if you need to. I mean, I know they've got their 10, I think 12, 15, and as good as those are, these single barrels, oftentimes their barrel proof stuff rivals just about anything that's out there in my opinion. And it's some of the best whiskey to me that's out there. I know it's from Tennessee, and I know people get all crazy about, that, but at the end of the day, it's amazing. Oh man, that cough killing me. Brutal. Get a little more water. All right, we're back. We're back. Man, oh man, got my eyes watering and everything so much. Holy moly, it's that damn cough. I'll tell you. All right, let's start with the bourbon. We'll tackle this a little bit. So we'll see what we got. Oh man, it is so much like fudge brownie. Um, that was the one thing with this. Well, Jason did the sticker of Count Hockula, but absolutely amazing, amazing. Maybe one of the um maybe bourbons that I've had that have had such a heavy chocolate or fudge influence. Oh, shit's ridiculous, I'll tell you. It's coughing. Beautiful spice. Um, there's a little bit of this kind of like toasted marshmallow, chocolate, a big, heavy, rich spice factor, chocolate, marshmallow, all of those fudgy kind of notes. Oh man, it's got a lot going on. I mean, I think as we've selected these things throughout the year, progressively, I think some of the ages change a little bit, slightly. Maybe some of them have gotten a little bit older. Shit's ridiculous. But what's up, Mark? Good to see you, buddy. Hopefully you're doing well. Good to see you, buddy. Um, but yeah, as I was saying, some of the ages have maybe crept up a little bit with some of these, but overall, they've just progressively, I think, gotten better. You start to become a little bit more aware of what it is you want, what you're looking for in these things. You get a little bit more, I guess I'll say picky or choosy. Um, and we know a little bit more now after doing several of these what it is you're looking for and what you're wanting. So I think that's where a lot of things have changed. Early on when you're first there, you're excited, you're almost willing to select anything, not that we'll do that, but it was a different experience than it is now. You kind of learn to become a little bit more picky. You rely on a lot of the people that you're doing the pick with to give all of their input, what it is they like, what they don't like. So that's a huge factor. And I think a lot of why we'd like to get so many people involved is to get that input because, them as part of the pick team are also the same people buying the bottles. They're a representation of you guys as the club. So let's dive into this thing. And like I said, nose wise, it is great spice, fudgy, chocolate, marshmallowy, great oak presence on this. Oh man, I mean, there's very much of a candy bar kind of aspect to it. It is very, very rich nose. So Yeah, I mean, it has all the characteristics of what you'd kind of get with I guess maybe a combo of both um like a Snickers and a Milky Way, kind of that kind of feel. Um Beautiful spice. I mean, it is one of the more bolder spices that I've had. Let's see, proof wise 127.7. Um Drinks all of that. I'll say this is probably right spot on in terms of what you'd expect from an almost 130 proof whiskey. But it has a lot of those rich fudge marshmallow. The spice factor to it is amazing. It's oily, mouth coating. The viscosity is crazy on the thing, which really allows for that finish to be really nice and long. Yeah, it's interesting because it is very much of a Snickers bar. There's a little bit of this like nuttiness that it has to it, like a salted peanut or something that's working really well with the kind of the chocolate, the marshmallow. So it's a lot of decadence that's going on with this thing. Mm, man, love the man, just the mouthfeel of it. Oily. It's really oily. I'll even say this. There's a little bit of a um I don't want to say like a root beer kind of note that it has. Like you can mix a little bit of the Snickers and Milky Way and like a root beer float. There's this creamy vanilla that it has to it. Great, you know, the oak and everything that you're gonna get is gonna be really heavily influenced because these barrels are all coming from the upper floor of that particular rick where they store all of their single barrels for their program. So that is one of the things you can always count on with them is that these barrels are coming from the upper floor. So you're going to get hit with a lot of that Tennessee heat. So there's going to be a lot of probably maintenance going on with a lot of these barrels. And they're pre-selecting a lot of these barrels before they even get to us. So I think when we got what we got, I mean, we were choosing from a really good, I guess, crop of whiskey, so to speak. I mean, it was a really I'll say this, it was probably more difficult with the bourbon than it was the rye. This rye, and when we get to it, you'll understand why. It's maybe one of the better ryes I've ever had. But this bourbon has so much chocolate, fudge, marshmallow that it was different, a little more of like kind of a salted peanut note, but it just has so much going on. So I mean, if you're already a Jack Daniels fan, I think this is maybe gonna be slightly different. I don't remember as much from other bottles having a little bit more of that salted, peanut or almond or something like that. But there's a lot of that that's going with that kind of chocolate and marshmallow. And if I mean, having those candy bars, that's a lot of what this thing is. It is like a liquid candy bar for the most part. So if that sounds enticing, then that's what you've got coming for you on Friday with that one. So um, can't wait to release that. And in all honesty, I can't wait to feel a little bit better because I think it's probably even better than what I'm describing. I'm sure Jason will talk a little bit about these bottles tomorrow after his live stream or whatever it may be. But I'll tell you what, it is an absolutely fantastic bourbon. So if you're one of the lucky ones and you're able to get a bottle, kudos to you. I think these things just continue to improve and the whiskey that keeps getting churned out of that place just keeps getting even better and better every single year. So it is one of those releases that I'll say me, at least personally, look forward to every single year because of what the prior year was. You're wanting to always continue to step it up a little bit. And to me, it's probably, and maybe I'll even do a blind with the ones we've done before just to kind of see where they rank. But I can almost guarantee you this one will be right there at the top. So all right, with that, let's kind of dive into the rye. So this does come from uh the Coy Hill Rick. And so let's see what we got here. So let's see, does it give us the Barrel House is 1-13? I believe that's Coy Hill. If anybody wants to confirm that or not. So and it was bottling date 9/22/25. Let's see, what was the bottling date of our bourbon? Was that the same? Nope, 9/26/25. So a few days later, they did the bourbon, did the rye first. So yeah, and I'm sure John we'll probably do one of each. I don't know what our bottle count is for these yet. After this, I'll send something to Jay and see what pricing and everything is going to be with these. I haven't heard from him since last week, but I don't know if he gave us any of that stuff. So, all right, that's what I thought. And that's what I basically knew that. I just wanted to confirm that. So, all right, so let's dive into this. This is, I'll tell you what, when we were there doing the pick, this was one of those when we got to it, man, it was just we tasted through the 3 or 4 samples we had. And when we got to this monster, we all knew like it wasn't even as much of a contest once we got to this pour. Um, Obviously we taste them not knowing anything about it. We don't know proof, we don't know ages, we don't know it's Coy Hill Rick. We know nothing when you're tasting these things. So you're doing it truly blind. You're just going off of what it is you're nosing and tasting. And this was the one that we landed on. But this was an absolute monster of a rye whiskey. And I think the vast majority of people who are rye drinkers or just enjoy rye in general are going to absolutely love this bottle. So, oh, you got a 110. Okay. All right. What do we have? What was ours? 113. 113. Okay. Well, 13 is my lucky number. I guess that's why. So, Shelfer. I'll tell you what, you can't even go wrong with them. I don't even care what they are. Like, you can't go wrong with a lot of those, even what Jack Daniels pumps out there just from a normal shelf bottle. They're as good, if not better, than the vast majority of whiskeys that are out there these days. So, I mean, you can criticize me for that, for saying it or whatever, but I mean, they produce such incredible whiskeys that it's tough to beat that, especially for these prices. So, oh, typically 6 to 8 years old. All right, so really big, really bigger ages than what we probably have been dealing with in the past, and so it probably is why some of these things are starting to kind of be reflective of the flavors and profiles being ramped up a little bit more. So, yeah, typically 5 to 7. Okay, 6 to 8. Take that for sure. Oh man, the oak, a little bit of like the mint. I mean, it's so candied. And this was the thing for me. It's a much darker profile than a lot of ryes that you get. It is more of a, at least on the nose, before we dive into the palate here, but on the nose, it is such a dark fruit driven rye with little hints of kind of that barrel note, the actual wood that you're smelling, a little bit of mint that's there as well. So, barrel number on the Tennessee whiskey was 25 dash 25159. Oh man, it's such a beautiful nose. Spice, chocolate, dark, rich fruits. There's a little bit of a maybe even like a candied ginger. I know ginger can be kind of potent, but when I say kind of a candied ginger, that's meaning more of a kind of a spice factor. There's a little bit of a holiday kind of vibe that this thing has going on, but with a richer, kind of more like a deeper nose that this has. Oh, Rick location. This one was 2-30. 2-30. Yeah, a little bit of that candy mint, really nice dark fruits, almost a little bit of a, cherry strudel vibe that it has. Yeah, like I said, that candied ginger, that's there. Beautiful chocolate, mint. Love the spice on this thing. Proof wise, we had this going to jump up in proof. 135.5 proof on this bad boy. So getting close. Not quite hazmat, but we're there you go, ginger snap cookie. You can call it that if you want. So very, very much of that. So you get a little bit of that sweet sugared kind of part of a ginger snap cookie. So you definitely have that. All with that kind of like Andy's candy, mint, chocolate, but with a beautiful spice factor. All right, let's kind of dive into this thing and see what this thing. I'm looking forward to this. It's a classic um nose and palate matching almost identically. Even with just the first sip, it does lead very much with that ginger snap cookie, lot of that chocolate, kind of Andy's candy mint, very creamy, beautiful oak. Baking spice on this is absolutely fantastic. And again, it does have um that kind of holiday vibe to it. There's very much of a kind of a Christmassy theme. I think Jason did a good job with the stickers, considering he threw the Grinch on there. Not that this is a Grinch whiskey or anything by any mistake, but the fact that this has such a holiday kind of vibe to it is ridiculous. Yeah, it's an absolute beautiful whiskey. Again, I think most of these Jack Daniel's single barrels, whether they're bourbons or ryes, all have a kind of a beautiful like mouth texture, very creamy, rich mouth coating, a lot of viscosity that's there. It's going to allow these whiskeys to have really long finishes. Yeah, Travis, you're gonna get like all of that. I mean, these are two like beautiful whiskeys. I mean, it's every year seems to kind of just one up from the other, and it's kind of what you're getting and what you're seeing. And I think now we're getting, Travis had mentioned 6 to 8 year kind of whiskeys when you used to get probably a little bit less than that with some of the single barrels, but now a lot of that is being with those ages. I think you're getting with them managing that kind of age with that heat that they have down there, you're getting much more of that richer kind of component to the whiskey. Mm. Man, I'll tell you what, for anybody who lives in a cooler or colder area, and maybe for everybody who even doesn't, I know it's cool for you wherever it is you live. You're gonna enjoy that rye. I'm gonna tell you that right now. It's got an awful lot going on, and it's interesting because of how it's layered, and you get hit with spice like immediately, that baking spice, that ginger snap cookie. And as that's kind of settling in a little bit, that heat kind of picks up there as it kind of works down your chest. And then some of that sweetness starts to kind of build back in with the chocolate, the mint. Again, even that sweeter kind of candy or a sugar cookie, ginger snap, whatever you want to refer to it as. And then as it finishes, you're still left with that lingering like baking spice and everything that you just tasted. So whether it's ginger snap, a sugar cookie, the chocolate, um, everything from that, it's just an incredibly layered rye whiskey and one that I think the vast majority of people are going to really, really enjoy. So, yes, there you go. Justin, yeah, he's on his look at Justin coming in with some Christmas themed stuff, a whiskey that's follow. I'll tell you, man, that's too good right there. I like I like that. That's a really good one. Mr. Will Hall, good to see you, brother. All right, let's try one more. Man, I can't wait for you guys to get these. These are good. I mean, as different as they are, there's a lot of similarities from the fact that they are so well balanced and complex. You've got all of that ultra richness that just comes with the expectation of a Jack Daniel's single barrel. So I think you guys are going to really truly truly enjoy these. Mm. Yeah, and this was where that dark fruit kind of component came in. It was something that I think just layered in and made it extra rich. It has, again, a little bit of that different profile. Why? I don't know if that is a Coy Hill thing or whatever with the rye, but it seems to be where the more dark fruit has layered with the chocolate and the oak and the spice and has kind of pushed down or suppressed a little bit of that mint note. So it's drinking more along the lines of a rich bourbon, but with the rye component part of it, almost as though you were drinking like a high rye bourbon, like a very high rye bourbon. You get a lot of those attributes. But that's the one thing I think with this that really got a lot of us was the fact that it had all of that dark fruit kind of component, which really changed the game with this rye. It became a different pour. It's unlike for me anything that I had ever tasted in specifically a Jack Daniel's rye. I had never gotten that kind of dark fruit note in a rye ever before. So, as my buddy Will, good to see you, brother. Adam Price, good to see you, Adam, as always. Man, I don't even know. Like, I don't even know. Is that even really a thing anymore? Are they underrated? The price point for what it is you get with these things is incredible, out of this world. I mean, the value is just unbelievable. So, it's just crazy. So, what else we got? Did I miss anything before? I don't know if a lot of you guys put it or not, but does anybody have a whiskey of the year to you guys? I was just interested to see kind of what's kind of the predominant and it's a little bit different. I guess I'll say different for me anyway, but without getting all of the bottles or all of the highly allocated ones, sometimes my list ends up being a little bit different than a lot of other people's. And it's always an interesting thing to see where certain bottles kind of land within the top 5 or top 10 for a lot of people. But to me, it's always interesting to hear from you guys as to what your top whiskey that maybe you've had, throughout the year. So, I had a sample of the Beacon, but did not have the William Heaven Hill 19. Actually, you know what? Maybe I did. I think I had a William Heaven Hill 19. I had a sip of um Paul's at the at our event this year at Heaven Hill. I believe that was a William Heaven Hill 19. So yeah, I did have it, but not enough to really like qualify. It was very good whiskey. I mean, at that point, I already had like a few things, but I remember it being very good. Did have a sample of the Beacon. Again, it's such a small thing to not be able to have a bottle and really truly sit down with some of these things to see what they have to offer. That can be that can be a difficult one. So there you go. Look at you. What an ass kiss. What an ass kiss this guy is. Fucking JG coming in with drum key. What a butt kiss. Jeez. As good as it is, I'll give you that. It's a very I've told Jason it a million times, but it's a very he did a very good job. So when you kind of start out with like a Super Bowl blend, you know, the bar has been set pretty high. So, but if I was going to expect anybody to come in with an ass kiss answer right away, it'd be this guy for sure. So kudos to you. You win the ass kiss award of the day. So JG, you get the first award of the day right there. So Oakwood 9. So I saw you hyping this thing up. I don't know if I got a chance to try that one or not. I don't know if I know I saw you with a bottle or two of something, but did you review it, Marty? I don't remember if you reviewed it or not. So there you go. Exactly. Sugar Kitty. He's on to JG. Brown lips. That's for sure. Jeez. What was for pick? I'm with boy, so the Elkwood, that thing's ranking pretty damn high, hey? That's pretty interesting. Oh, all right. I know they really had some pretty damn awesome barrels. There's no doubt about that. They had a really nice stock of a lot of things. That American whiskey, I know we did the American whiskey and basically a boo rye, and man, were those things absolutely fantastic. So I can see why those would have ranked high for you. So all right, Wayne, what do you got here? Aside from the William Heavenhill 19 and single rick house CNE, a great bottle. The Woodinville straight 100% rye. Wow, you're really coming out shots fired with that thing. That's pretty interesting. I wonder how many other people will either agree or disagree with you, but that's a bold thing. So clearly you like the Woodinville 100% rye. Interesting. Tom, don't be too formal with that guy. I don't know if I'd get that formal with him or not, but um Jefferson's cast strength. Okay, just going with the old shelfer. Jefferson's. Boy, you guys are coming out with some got the Oakwood, now the Jeffersons. Um yeah, I'm looking forward to comparing theirs and ours to see how different we were there not long after they were. So I'll be interested to see kind of how that all shakes out. Um But I'll be interested to see how that one was. So, yeah, Beacon I think is gonna be a big one for a lot of people. I wish I would have gotten a had a chance to get a bottle, but I never did. So, like the ECBP, yeah, the B525, that was an amazing one. That's gonna probably factor in for me. I know some people were not like overly crazy. I think they just lumped a lot of them together this year with the ECBPs, and I think a lot of it just comes down to comparison to back in the day that they're just starting to kind of, you know, lump them all together. And this year, I think the B525 was an amazing whiskey. I thought it was absolutely fantastic. I think it'll compete with a lot of great bourbons from this year. It just reminded me more of what the ECBPs used to be. It was probably closer to the C923. I'm trying to think of what 924, which one was close for me on that. But off the top of my head, the B525 in terms of profile and everything that the C923 had, it was probably as close to that as I could remember at the time. So All right, Paul. So he's got a couple of different horse soldier tenures, single barrel, the Jepson single barrel pick. That would be a fun one to do. I think we need to probably consider. I know it's MGP, but I would really like to kind of consider doing a Jepson's. Maybe we could do a single barrel Malort. Was that what do you guys think of that? Would that maybe resonate with anybody? Um, what else we got? Man, Katie, never got a chance to try that one, but if you end up getting one of ours, let me know how they compare. I would just be interested to know how this compares to that. If it's a more similar profile or what's coming out of Coy Hill has a very similar profile to what it was that we selected. To me, it was a no-brainer. It was the easiest selection of the day. The bourbon was a little bit tougher. We had one that was close, but the rye, this one blew everything else away. So um, I figured the last time he had heard Mr. Robeson was the probably when he was getting pulled over somewhere or did something wrong, and the law enforcement was referring to him, but I could be wrong. Um, Tom says put pinhook 10-year vertical. All right, interesting. Our pinhook stuff was supposed to be released, but we never got our bottles on time, so we had to put a pause on that. So nice. I don't believe you. What a liar. For sure. I think it was one of the better ones this year to be honest. I think it was one of the better bourbons of the entire year to be honest. So, I think that was the one if I'm not mistaken was like 11 years, 6 months if I'm not mistaken. Um was the B525 the oldest but lowest proof or am I flip-flopping those two things? Um, oh man, maybe I'll have to reach out to him. I'll have to reach out. Yeah, Kitty, if you don't mind, I'd be interested just to try it next to this, just to see what it what it is. If you want to shoot me an email or something, I think you already have my mailing address, but yeah, if you don't mind, I'd appreciate it. Man, some of those Buckners, man, like the ones we did this year, man, those things were some amazing stuff. And I'll tell you, that buff turkey, that stuff's just about gone for the most part. I know some people are still using it for blends and things, but even if it's there, I mean, it's been so picked through at this point. Like, you know, I don't know where we're gonna go with those releases going forward, or if there's a bunch of people who've sat on it or what. But I don't know. It'll be interesting. So hang on one second here. Okay. Yeah, the buff turkey stuff, when you start getting into that 17-year-old, like that kind of that really good bourbon, man, that's just not stuff you get. You're gonna Never gonna see that much of anymore, unfortunately. So, um, what else we got here? Well, anyway, so there are the two jacks that we've got coming up on Friday. I think you have a pretty good idea of how I feel about both of these things. They're two amazing whiskeys in their own right. And you've got liquid candy bar here, you've got like liquid holiday here, ginger snap, sugar cookie, chocolate, all of these incredible baking spice that it has. That fruit layer is that's the one thing I don't wanna forget. It's there in my mind, and I know it's there. I'm just not always wanting to say it out loud. It's become such a different flavor profile that I'm assuming that the fruit, layer is there, but it is such an amazing kind of contrast of what I'm used to with Jack. It's just a different kind of profile, and I don't know if it just is that way because it's coming from that Coy Hill Rick. But these will be through shared pour. I do have your mailing address, but I can send an email as follow up. I have no problem. I appreciate it. And as always, if you want anything, just let me know. And that really goes for a lot of people. I mean, if there are things that I have that I can send samples of, or people want to try things, or if you live close to me and you want to come by to try something, you're more than welcome. I've got enough whiskey to go around. That's for sure. So, but I've always said, I mean, if you're within driving distance or whatever it may be, and you want a sample of something before we release it and I have a bottle of it, you're more than welcome. So, all right, so we're at about an hour. Let's see, it's I don't have my watch on. 3 o'clock. Boy, man, for old guy, I'm getting into nap time here. You guys are cutting into my nap time. No, I'm just kidding. I don't nap. I don't. There you go. Come on over. Bring Krista with you. She can keep Julie occupied. Oh, that's right. Hang on one second. Let me I promised you guys last week that I would have a co-host, and we're gonna finally introduce the co-host today. So give me one second, and I'm gonna get her in here. And hang on one second here. I gotta text her. And we'll introduce my new co-host. So um are you saying the rye? Whatever it is, man, it's got such a holiday vibe to me. It's ridiculous. Like it is so good. So anyway, all right. So here we go. Here's the new co-host right here. So here he is, about 9-week old little Boston Terrier puppy, and his name is Bucky after the Wisconsin Badger mascot. So hi, buddy. So a little 9-week old puppy, and let's oh, it's a good little boy. Oh yeah, he was napping. He was napping. That's for sure. So he's uh he's an adorable little thing. That's for sure. But he's keeping us on our toes. He wants to chew on just about everything, but he's got a million little toys and all these other good things. But this is the new co-host that you'll see mixed in with well, maybe even we'll get him involved in a few reviews or something along those lines. But we'll see we'll see how he does with things. So he has I couldn't get him to stop licking one of my whiskey barrels in the basement the other day. So I figured out pretty early on that he was probably my little spirit animal, that's for sure. So you can see he's an antsy little guy, but he's like, come on, man, put me down. So I got some things to go sniff. So, but there he is. There's the new co-host, little Bucky, Bucky. So there you go, buddy. Now we can go sniff a million different things. So we'll end on a positive note like that. So we're looking forward to getting them in, and it's been a long enough time. We've gone probably 2.5 years now since we lost Brewer, but it's time, and this will be good, and we're getting them acclimated to some things, that's for sure. So he's been a good little puppy so far. So anyway, that's the new co-host right there. So we'll end on a high note, and then we'll be releasing, as I said before, we'll be releasing the both Jack Daniels this coming Friday. We'll drop some more information as soon as we know that, in terms of bottle count, price, all of those good things. And like I said, I'm sure Jason will talk about it tomorrow on his live, or the after party that he does. So thanks everybody for doing a little midday day drinking. Now I've kind of identified a lot of people that either don't do shit for their job, or have very little going on with their job, but you guys have all self-identified yourselves. So no going back on this one at this point. So anyway, but hey, I appreciate you guys hanging out for a little while with me on a midday Tuesday, and getting your drink on for the most part. So, but with that, enjoy tonight. I know Marty's going on, I think 8 Eastern as well. So he's going to be on. We'll see how the medication kicks in for me later on. So is all up. Yeah, there you go. There you go, Eric. I'm sure don't turn that in. Whatever you don't turn in your what did they say in Office Space? Was it a TPS report? Don't turn that TPS report in, and that won't be too good. But hey, I appreciate you guys hanging out with me for a little while, 9 to 5. Yeah, this is on 9 to 5. We're gonna mix it up a little bit. But hey, guys, thanks for hanging out for a little while, and just I appreciate you guys more than you know. So with that being said, remember it's about the journey and not the destination. Cheers, guys. Have a good rest of your day, and tune into Marty's live tonight. So we'll see you guys later. Have a good day.